I'm very excited about today's Women's Series. You have the chance to hear from two conservatives who were once very liberal. You know, we've talked a lot about how important the women's vote is, and that's because it's the largest voting bloc in the country, and women disproportionately vote at a much higher rate than men. And as we've mentioned before, women tend to vote Democratic by a large margin, actually. Earlier this year, The Atlantic expounded upon that in an article where they said why men vote for Republicans and women vote for Democrats. And they stated that the unprecedented split between male and female voters actually began in the 80s, and women have since become a dependable force for Democrats. Well, our next two guests used to fit that demographic but have since become conservatives. We now welcome singer and author of Kick A Conservative, Joy Villa, and actress and filmmaker of A House Divided, Jessica Boss. Ladies, welcome to the show. So glad to have you.
Good to be here. Hello.
All right. Well, by any count, you guys are essentially trailblazers because you are creating a path that is not taken that often and creating a way for conservative women to have a voice. Real quick, I just want to get your stories. What made you turn from being liberal to conservative? Joy, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah, well, it was a big change. You know, a lot of people know that I came out proudly in my Trump dress in 2017 at the Grammys. And before that, I was a liberal singer-songwriter. I had voted for Obama. I had toured 35 countries. You know, I wasn't active in politics, but if you would have asked me, I said, oh, liberal. I support all the hashtags. I was a feminist. Until I realized all of that was lying to me. Feminism had failed me. It taught me to hate men. Obama did nothing for Black Americans. Black Lives Matter. They had done disastrous things, not as bad as even now, but still, even then they were violent. And I just felt completely disgusted with the left. But still, I held on until Donald Trump ran for president, and I stayed hidden until after I voted for him. I said, I hate what is going on. Madonna can talk about blowing up the White House at the Women's March. She said, I thought an awful lot about blowing up the White House. I said, I'm disgusted with this. This is the left. This is celebrities telling us how to think and what to do. And me being an artist, I have to stay closeted. No more. I came out strongly. And even through the death threats and the racial slurs from the left, I don't regret a moment.
All right. I want to get to some of that more in a minute. But Jessica, I want to share hear your story as well.
Well, I started off in my late teens just being a Democrat by default because that's what I heard echoed in my home. So I didn't even question the fact that I should vote for John Kerry. It was just an obvious thing, and it was just something you did. You're a Black woman, you vote Democrat. That's just how it was. And it wasn't until my then boyfriend, now husband, he pretty much shattered my left-wing narratives by simply showing me that the mainstream media has an agenda that they're trying to fulfill. And once I saw that and I started to do the research, I could not unsee the truth. And then now we made a film that pretty much debunks all the leftist lies, and it just released. So I'm now coming out.
I love it. You know, you both mentioned this in your own ways, but it has almost become a default for women to be Democrats. And we've seen, I've mentioned this in my women's series, but so often, you know, we teach little girls, like, you should be strong for yourself, women empowerment. The left screams that very loudly. But all of a sudden, if you're a conservative, all of a sudden you're anti-woman. And we saw that at the Women's March this past weekend. So how do we change that narrative? Because if I'm a little girl growing up in this world, I think I want to be for women. But then I see these women being against women like Amy Coney Barrett and against women who are conservative. And Joy, like you said, you were receiving death threats.
Oh, yeah. I've received death threats, rape threats, racial slurs. You know, I have to travel with security. In my new book, Kick-Ass Conservative, I talk about that, why feminism has failed us. And what I say is I am pro-woman. I don't use the term feminist anymore, but we can still be pro-woman. And what's happening in society, failing women right now is a clear example. Just like you said, the way to combat that is to tell girls you can be pro-life, you can be pro-God, pro-Trump, and you can be powerful. It doesn't depend on the color of your skin or where you grew up. You can be a strong woman. You can be a wife. You can be a stay-at-home mom. You can be a career woman. You can have it all. You can have kids and a family. Don't let feminism tell you that men are bad. We don't have to put men down to lift women up. So it's empowering women as conservatives and showing that it's not about our gender. It's about what's here.
You know, I feel like that there are women who are just afraid to transition because, like you guys have said, the backlash that you got and how unpopular it was. Jessica, do you know of women out there that you feel like are just kind of afraid because you almost have to have thick skin to be conservative?
Absolutely. I mean, a great example was in our film when we were casting the role, we had to recast it about 15 times, different roles, because actors who submitted to the project got cold feet about acting in a pro-conservative, pro-Trump movie. And this was after we booked them. They had submitted their tape. So it's not as though we gave them the role. And they still, after they booked the role, said, no, I can't do it. And it just made me more open to say, wow, this is the stronghold that Hollywood has on people to be so scared to act in a film. We don't question if, you know, Dexter, the real actor, we don't question if he's really a mass murderer. We don't. He's acting. But yet there's such a fear to be just tied to the conservative movement or as a conservative or Republican. It's really sad, and I really want to see that change.
Yeah. Real quick, I only have about a minute left, but I'm here for both of you. Joy, what do you wish the one thing that more liberal women would know about the lies that maybe they're believing to switch over to be conservative, or but what that tells them?
That Republicans are pro-woman and that you can do it all. You don't have to say abortion is healthcare. No, murdering a child is not healthcare. You don't have to say, oh, I have to support this, that, and the other in order to be a woman. When I was a liberal, I felt this need to always support the social justice causes, the hashtags. It was like I was never woke enough or I'd be ostracized. And you don't need any of that. You are born a woman. You will stay a woman. You are powerful in who you are. And Republicans don't look at you as just a female. They look at you as what you bring to the table. And that's true freedom. So leave the liberal hypocrisy and find freedom in the right.
Jessica, I just have a few seconds left.
I 100% agree. I think that the fact that they would say that we're anti-women because we're conservative, the fact that we're pro-life shows that we are for women.
Yeah.
That is the most vulnerable group that has no voice.
Yes.
And yet most of those are women, are going to be full-blown women one day, and yet they're okay killing it. So I think that it's such a hypocrisy of the left to say that we're anti-women, and I really would like to get the message out more about who we really are as conservatives. We want freedom. That's all we want.
Thank you, ladies. Joy, I know that you have a shirt out that says pro-life is pro-woman. I love that. That could not be any more true. Ladies, thank you so much. There it is. Boom. I got to get one of those. Love that shirt. All right. Ladies, thanks so much for sharing your stories and continue fighting the good fight.
Thank you.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.